First Officer Star Log, June 29th, 2174. A message was received at 7:12 a.m. for the captain. Due to the captain taking some time to deal with family issues and asking Silva for his help, I am acting captain for now. The letter from Admiral Foxwell reads, "Good morning, Captain. I need you to look into a very strange situation. The Dorin is a Bolian ship that is near your current location, and the Bolian Command has asked us to look into it. Almost 4 days ago, the ship's doctor asked for help from Dr. Hall. Then an automated quarantine message was sent out from the ship, telling everyone to stay away. Then, 2 hours later, the ship's doctor sent a message to Bolian Command to ignore the quarantine message. Nothing was heard from the Dorin until an hour ago. An automated distress call was sent out from the ship. Please look into this and assist the Dorin in any way that you can. The closest Bolian ship is 3 days away and can come and help if needed. Bolian Command has sent us information on the ship and crew. They explained that the Dorin is a smaller science vessel that was due for retrofit. They decided to use it to look for a new colony as a way to fix the problems that came up from Klingons taking the Bolian colonies. They sent the ship out a month ago and were receiving positive reports until this mess. Admiral Foxwell." There were a few other documents that were sent over, including a letter from Dr. Hall to Dr. Hall from Dr. Blocks asking for help, a letter from Dr. Hall's acting captain saying he offered Dr. Hall's help to repay a favor to someone in Bolian Command, Commander Arhat.
Very nice. And let's just see. This is the Doran. This is what you're looking for. And your directives are to locate and find out what's going on with Doran and provide any needed assistance.
Does anyone want me to go over the letters from Dr. Hall to Dr. Blocks or any of those other letters?
So there's 3 messages. There's a message from Dr. Hall's superior. There is a message from Dr. Blocks to Bolian Command. And then there's the message from Dr. Blocks to Dr. Hall asking for help. Michael has all 3 and can read them if you would like.
I feel like the one where it was either the second to last one you said or the very last one you said, I think would be
Which
helpful.
one? The Dr. Blocks to Bolian Command or Dr. Blocks to Dr. Hall?
That one.
It says, "Good afternoon, Dr. Hall. I'm sure you don't remember me, but we met at a conference on DNA sequencing. I am hoping you can help me. 5 seconds of silence, end of message." That's the entire message. Bullying Command was told to ignore the quarantine message. It was sent in error. That's the entire message Dr. Block sent Bullying Command. Doesn't give us a whole lot to go on.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
There's about 50 crew of the ship.
Yep.
So it's a smaller science vessel.
Well, as House, I would say that the other doctor who issued the quarantine is good. I would trust his word over it. I don't know him personally, so
Things just seem to be odd, and we were asked by his superiors to look into it.
yeah, it is. It is odd.
You also have the last known coordinates, which is in an uncharted solar system.
How long is it going to take for us to get there?
So if you go at warp 6, it'll take 2 hours.
I think the first thing to do is just head over there and just see if we can figure out, is the ship okay? What's going on? Just because we're being asked by the Bolian superior of the ship to just check on the ship.
I'm ready, acting captain. I'm ready.
Plot of course for the Bolian ship, warp 6. Engage.
You got it.
So it's 8 o'clock now because the message came in from Foxwell at 7:15.
PM? Or
So
AM?
you'll get there at 10 a.m.
Oh, okay.
So is there anything you want to do before we get there?
Is there anything like that house could do, like research on possible things that Bolians would experience as far as like quarantine issues?
I mean, they have the same quarantine procedures as Starfleet, so
So I'll just research on the computer basically anything that we could run into and dig into my extensive knowledge of virology.
that was that hours, huh? So that
I
would
do
be,
have I I do have an extensive background in viruses, but yeah.
I believe if you want to do a task, right, it would be medicine insight. So do
Yep.
difficulty 1.
I need a 14. I rolled an 8. Oh wait, I gotta roll and a third 19. So just one success.
Okay. So Dr. House spends the 2 hours researching Bolian physiology and diseases that they could be susceptible to. So he can become more aware of possible outbreaks. And
Nice.
then you reach the system. You have arrived to the outer rim of the solar system. What would you like the crew to do?
Scan for the ship to see if we can figure out exactly where it is.
And how will you be scanning?
In general, like energy signature, because that probably be picked up the easiest.
Go ahead. Who's going to roll for Q?
I can roll for Chu since she's a side character.
Yep. 14, she has sensors operations, so if you get a 4 or less, it counts as 2.
12. 10.
That's 2. So you got 1 momentum. So you scan the system for energy signatures and you find nothing. You just to try scanning something else.
Captain, I see nothing on my sensors.
Okay, can we do a scan for metal?
So you want to look for the specific hull composition of Bolian chip?
Yes.
All right, that is a insight science difficulty 1. So 14 again.
A 3.
So that's 2.
And a 20.
Oh, complications. Yeah, I'm gonna bank that for threat. All right. So you did you get your momentum?
I did now, yes.
All right. So you scan for the specific hull and you find the signature in the asteroid belt on the edge of the system.
Captain, I see a ship on my sensors. It seems to be in the asteroid belt.
Are we able
Your
to
order.
hail the ship?
I mean, it's a decent distance away. Would you like to get closer before attempting to hit?
Yeah, get closer. I figured we were semi-close to where they could hear us, but if they're a ways away, let's get closer.
Yes. So you travel, you like pilots successfully to the asteroid belt. Obviously, the asteroids are moving in front of you, and you can see on the view screen that the ship is behind some of the asteroids. How would you like to proceed?
I would like to hail the ship because of the quarantine. I don't want to get too close and have issues.
All right. So who would like to do a control engineering test?
5 for engineering, 11 for control.
So 16. So who would like to roll for Jahan?
I'm rolling for him right now.
Okay, go ahead.
I got a 16 and a 17.
So you got 1 success, but you can bank it because there's difficulty 0.
Okay. Oh, do we roll for the ship too, Andrew, or no? Just
Oh, that's a good point. Because it is a ship task, right?
I believe it's that and then a ship task.
Assisted by communications and engineering with a difficulty of 0. That is a 9. Who wants to try to roll for a 9?
I can do it.
Go ahead.
17.
Then that would be enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Continue, please, and thank you.
So go ahead, Tharhat, and give whatever message you would be to the other ship.
Dorian ship. This is the USS Drake. We were asked by Bolian Command to just come out and check on you. Can you please give us an update?
Wait a couple minutes. Nothing.
I think we're going to have to get closer, if not try and get onto the ship if no one responds.
Okay. So this would require, because you're on the edge of the asteroid field. So if you're going to get closer, you're going to have to go into the asteroid field.
Yes, and I'm debating on, do I take the whole ship or should I just send a shuttle?
That's up to you. What is Mielik's piloting or con number?
It is a 5.
So because he is like that is the best pilot in the fleet, basically, he is skilled enough to get the ship through the asteroid field with a difficulty of 1, or you can just send a shuttle. It is your decision.
If it seems like it's safe to be with the ship, I think we should take our ship over.
So would Mielik like to do a difficulty 1 con and control to expertly pilot the ship?
Oh man, would I ever? Here we go.
Yep.
16. A 2.
Very nice.
A 5. So that should be 4 successes because he has a focus in helm operations.
Ooh. So you just maxed out. So Mielik turns the ship sideways and slides between the asteroids and gets to the other side where you're nose to nose with the Dorian ship. And so, unfortunately, I couldn't edit this picture. So you're going to have to imagine some removal because in space there would not be fire. But this is what you see.
A heavily damaged ship.
Yep.
I'd like to do a scan on the ship to see if it's safe to go over there.
What type of scan? Like a just like a general.
General scan to see if like life support is still functional, if
Okay.
whatever type of shielding they have is still.
Okay.
I don't want to send people over there if they are going to die.
Yes. So that would be a science insight difficulty 2.
Do you want me to roll for it, guys? Or
Sure,
Yeah.
you can roll it for it.
okay.
14,
Yeah,
if you roll a 4 or less, it's a double.
A
Just tells us
9
what to do.
and a 12.
All right, so it's 2 successes. Chu brings up the scanners, starts to scan the ship. Huge amount of interference, but is able to focus enough to get the bottom part of the ship because there's a lot of interference on the top part. And so there's a lot of damage. There is life support and gravity. And there is most of the ship has breathable air. There are pockets where it's just vacuum of space.
Okay.
It's up to you if you'd like to spend momentum to get more details on this, but
Do we have any idea what is causing the interference, such as radiation or something like that, or is it just
you would have to do either a scan or pay momentum to get that info.
okay? I think to do another scan to just find out if it's radiation or what we're dealing with. Because again, I don't want to send people over there if they're going to die.
Before we continue, do you want to spend any momentum to get extra information on the condition of the ship?
What do you guys think? Also, how much momentum would we have to spend?
Just one. It's one per question.
We're at max.
It wouldn't hurt to know if like the warp core is damaged and if an explosion is imminent.
Yeah. Is the warp core still functioning? And does it seem like the ship might catastrophically explode?
All right, so I'll tell you about warp core and engineering, okay? You have no indication that the warp core is currently on. You don't see any damage with it, but engineering is exposed to the vacuum of space.
Oh, good.
Lovely.
Would you like to buy any more information, or should we go on to scanning the interference?
I don't see the point of spending more momentum. I think we should do a scan to try and figure out what is causing the interference.
So I'm pretty sure that's also science insight. If somebody wants to get ready to roll a 14. You know, it's going to be a science reason, because that makes more sense. Which is 12 for Chew.
I have one success.
Okay. Would you like to do any more scans? Because we can try going back to the interference when you get more information.
Did our scans reveal that the airlock or something like that is still intact? So if we decide to go over, we're actually able to get over.
That sounds like a momentum question.
I think the scan for life science and yeah, let's go with in general life science, see where they are.
So that's difficulty 2, 14.
Do you want me to have more dice?
Sure, let's buy one dice.
Oh, and remember, we haven't been rolling for the ship, have we? For scans.
No.
No.
Because I just realized it's science computer, I think.
Sensor science for the ship.
Sensor science, thank you. Which is a 3, it's a 10. Would Caleb like to try to roll a 10?
Yeah.
In fact, roll 2 dice.
6.
Okay.
And 11.
I have 2 successes.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to retroactively, because he rolled a 6 first, that will count towards the scanning of the interference. And then he rolled an 11, so that will count towards the one you're doing now. So see, so you got 2 successes. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
So the interference, we'll go back to that. The interference is coming from a dampening field that is erect over the top part of the ship.
Something about the ship is blocking our scans.
Yes.
So here's a thing that I don't know. I think we can do. Maybe perhaps we can, instead of use an electronic aspect of our scanners, use physical technology and see if we can actually telescope zoom and not actually computer scan and look at and see if we can see the device and then ascertain if it's a part of the ship or something has latched onto the ship. You see what I mean? Is it their technology or is it another civilization's technology? Because I doubt we'll be able to scan it, or if we can scan it, it'll be a difficulty 4 or 5 or something.
While you're thinking about that, do you want to know about the bioscan?
Yes.
Yes.
So where the dampening field is, you get no readings. But there is one bioscan in the Jeffries tube between 4 and 5.
Can we tell any information about that one life sign?
The only information you have is it's a Bolian life sign.
Okay.
Do you want to try using magnifications with the view screen to look at the top of the ship?
Let's start with that. See if we can physically see anything.
Okay. So you use your maximum magnification and you scan the whole top and the sides. You see nothing. There's no device on the outside of the top of the ship as far as you can see.
Okay.
So basically, it's either inside or we physically can't see it.
Right.
So I think we should scan for a good place to dock, because
Okay.
we're not going to find out much more information
Yeah.
outside the ship.
Still difficulty 2, 14.
All right.
Somebody
Happy
want to roll for the ship so we don't forget this time?
Okay. Happy with 2 dice, everybody.
Yep.
I think so.
Going for a 10.
We got a 12 and a 10.
Okay, so that's 2.
I just rolled an 8.
So it's 3. So you get a momentum.
Okay, we're back at max.
All right. So you scan the ship for possible entries. Remember the picture, the side that looked real damage?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that docking port doesn't exist. Not even the room is a part of the ship anymore.
Gotcha.
But on the other side, that one looks fine, and there is a shuttle bay, because the shuttle bay has 2 spots, but there's only one shuttle. but the roof of the shuttle bay is kind of mangled, so you're going to need a pilot, if a skilled pilot to maneuver in if you want to use that.
The docking port, is that lower or higher on the ship?
It's on deck 5 or something, right?
I think it's deck 4.
Deck 4.
Or so it's just within the range of the dampening field.
Yep.
But honestly, I think docking at the docking port is the safest spot to try.
Now, if that's your plan, you got to assemble your crew. You got to just say what equipment you're bringing.
Yep. I think we should have probably the doctor go over just because it was a quarantine situation. I'm thinking about me, Ensign Milek can pilot the shuttle,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm debating on bringing Chu along just because it is a science vessel and it would be good to have someone over there who knows more about science. It probably wouldn't be bad to bring Clark along just because the ship is heavily damaged, and if we need someone to fix something, probably be good for him to be here.
So that'd be 5. So you can fit them in there.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be tight, but you can do it.
Clark will just use his robot arm to just hold on to the handrail and stand. Like when you're on a bus. Mechanical grip engaged.
So is that your crew?
I think that's our crew for right
Mhm.
now going over.
So what equipment are you bringing? Because once you go over there, it's going to cost momentum to get stuff.
Environmental suits for everybody. I think everybody should have a phaser because it looks like it was attacked, and who knows if there's any hostiles on. I'm thinking about bringing over a phase rifle.
Yeah, you probably could just, because like laser weapons and hand scanners are all just going to be, come with the territory. But you can certainly, request EV suits, an engineering kit, a medical kit.
Yeah.
That would be
Okay.
normal.
And some ration packs just in case. I think we should load up and get going.
All right. So Melek's piloting.
I am.
All right. So it's going to be con control difficulty 2 because you have to go not just through asteroids, but through the debris field that the ship has left.
Okay. That is con control is a 16. Do you want me to have more than 2 dice?
Sure.
Okay.
We have 6.
Yep. I will buy another one. Okay. Am I assisted by the shuttle pod, Andrew?
Oh, you're right. Engines and con, but it's the shuttle, or is it the shuttle's numbers?
Yep. So it would be you're rolling a 4.
Okay. Go ahead.
Isn't there also a co-pilot? Or no?
There can be. Yep.
Yeah. You want to roll 2? Because that would be control and con as well. If somebody would like to assist Melek.
Okay. So you, our hat, can roll for the assist, and then Caleb, you can roll for the computers. You're just rolling a 4.
I rolled a 5.
You rolled a 5? So close.
Yep.
13.
You used a 4.
Nope.
Not
Okay.
enough.
Was not
Done.
able to help.
So it's a difficulty 2.
Yep.
I have 3 successes.
Very nice. So you get your 1 momentum back.
Nice.
So the shuttle leaves the ship, going around the asteroids. You go around the docking port that I said was missing. That's floating out in space.
Yeah.
You go under the ship, and you back up and dock with the docking ring. All right. Is there anything you'd like to do before you open the doors?
I think we should try opening it.
All right. So pressurize, you pull it open, and you see nothing but darkness.
Beautiful.
Probably scanning won't help a whole lot, but I wouldn't mind just trying to scan for any life signs in the area.
You can scan. The scanners also have flashlights, as we established before.
Yes. I'd like to turn on the flashlights.
Okay.
Because I was thinking my phase rifle probably has a flashlight as well.
Yep. Which one do you want to use? Do you want to use the one on the phase rifle or the one on your scanner?
I would like to use the one on my phase rifle.
Okay. So it's more coned because it's
Yes.
specifically for targeting.
Yes.
Is everybody else turning their flashlights on?
Are we all disembarking the shuttle?
That's a good question. So why don't we start with we'll start with just Tharhat's flashlight. So you hit it, you see because it's a hallway, so you see directly in front of you the hallway, and there's cracks in the wall in front of you. You see debris on the ground with parts, and there's the ceiling has chunks missing, but it's still intact. There's like a lot of damage, but the walls and the ceiling are still intact. You look to your left, and it's just empty hallway besides the debris. You look to the right, same thing.
I'd like to just pull out my hand scanner and just do a quick scan for life signs, see if I can find anything in the area.
Yep, that's science insight. Unless you want Chu to do it since she's got a 14.
I think Chu should come over here next to me and do that so
Okay.
that I can keep an eye out for people.
All right, go ahead.
2 successes.
Very nice. Are you maxed out?
Yes.
Because there was only difficulty 1. Do you want to use that momentum for something?
I would like to use that momentum to cut down on any interference.
Like future interference or interference
Like in this scan. Like if interference is gonna mess with this scan, I would like it to be less or negated.
Okay. So she pulls out, starts to scan. She picks up the one signal you got before, still in the same location that it was before. She is able to expand slightly. So she's able to read the upper floor, which you weren't able to do before, the deck 3.
Yeah.
And she doesn't get any life signs on deck 3, as far as you can see.
Okay.
So you know, basically from deck 3 down, there's only the one life sign. You know, as far as your scanners are telling you.
I'm thinking we should go find that one life sign so we can actually get some answers.
Okay. It's in the left corner.
We're on the right side and we have to go to the left side.
Yes. So is that what you're doing?
Yep, we're gonna try and head over to find the one life sign.
Okay. So what's the order? Because are you all gonna like try to all together, or are you doing a straight line, or what are you doing?
I think I'm in front. Milek, are you staying with the ship or are you coming along with us?
I mean, it probably would make sense to have somebody stay at the shuttle, but we could also leave it.
Because I know that the doctor should come along. And does Clark want to stay with the shuttle for right now, or do you want to come along?
No, I can stay in the shuttle.
Okay, so we'll have Milek and the doctor. Everybody behind me.
Okay. Are you
I would
doing
think
like a straight line, or
probably not a straight line, but like staggered a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, and Chu right behind me.
okay? So
So that they're able to see and not just see the back of my head the entire time.
true, and they probably help with their flashlights too.
Yes.
So you guys are proceeding to the hall. Milik and the doctor have to come in and out every so often because there's hanging debris to avoid, getting scratched or whatever. You keep hearing the crunching of glass and different particles under your feet. You come around the corner, still not seeing anything. Then you get to the other side, the corner. And so you're in the hallway, so you see the hatch for the Jeffries tube. You see the med bay. The quarantine is like 10 feet down from there. And you look down the hallway, you just see more debris and more doorways. What would you like to do?
We're at the Jeffries tube where the Bolian is.
Well, where the signal is, yes.
Is the Jeffries tube closed?
Yes, the door is closed.
I think the first thing I would do is I'd knock on it to let them know that we're there.
Okay.
And I would just call out that Starfleet, we're here to help.
Okay. So You pound on the door, you hear, "Ah!" And then he opens the door, right? And you see a young Bolian, probably in his late teens. He's got a cut across his top of his head with blood, with dried blood down his face, and he's got bruises on his hands. And he's like, "Who are you?"
My name is Ashraf Tharhat. I am a commander with the USS Drake. We were sent here by the Bolian Command and Starfleet to find out what's going on.
Oh, did you guys get the distress call?
We got the distress call, but we
You
also
see him just start dancing as you're explaining this. He's just starting to dance. So go ahead and
we
you
were
can.
we also received a message saying disregard the distress call, and we were asked to come out and just find out what's going on.
I don't know anything about the disregarding. All I know is it's been kind of crazy. I was spending my usual shift in the Jeffries tube trying to fix the conduits and things, and I kept getting mixed signals from officers. I was told to ignore things. I don't know. It was really weird. I was hearing stories of security officers moving people. Then next thing I know, the ship is violently shaking, and I don't know how long I was asleep. Man, I'm telling you. And then when I woke up, I couldn't contact anyone, so I decided to try to send out a distress call. I had to climb up and down the Jeffries tube so many times, and then I was able to get just enough power to activate it. And then you're here, and then this reminds me of this one book. Just like, no, he has no off switch, so you need to stop him. This reminds me of this one book. I don't know if you read it, but it was about a ship that was damaged and there was only one surviving crew member. I didn't know if I was going to have to write this book afterwards. So,
Okay, I got the gist. The thing is are you the only crew member left, or are there other crew members around?
I don't know. All I know is that I was unconscious. I tried to use my communicator, didn't get a hold of anyone. I can't get into the engine room to try to fix anything.
Oh, you
The
can't
ship,
get in the engine room.
yeah, and the ship is losing power. The little power we have left is still diminishing.
There's a dampening field that's blocking our scans. Do you
Okay.
have any idea what would be causing that?
No. Of course, I'm only a crewman. I don't know anything about creating a dampening field.
Do you know the quickest way to get to the bridge?
Yeah. So you go in the Jeffries tube and you go up, stick to the top of the thing, and you got to go across about 2 sections, and then you can come out by the commanding officer's quarters.
Okay. I'm assuming that everything is shut down or broken. And that's probably the only way that we're going to get around the ship.
Most likely.
Because with the dampening field on, there is no other option besides physically going.
Okay.
Do we have any idea about where the dampening field was emanating from?
What it is, because the Bolian command sent you a basic blueprint of the ship.
Yes.
So you know it's like a pyramid. So as you go up, the decks become smaller and smaller until the deck one, which has the bridge, is like a small circle.
Yes.
So you have a reasonable guess that's somewhere up there.
Before we do anything, I think the doctor should take a look at the cut on his head and the bruises on his hands just to make sure he's okay. Because I don't want to have him be doing stuff if he's not physically able to do stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna suggest that. I want to scan him.
You scan him.
Yep.
That's a medicine insight difficulty 1.
I need a 14.
11 and a delta, so 3.
So you did a really good scan on him.
Scanned his whole body in
Okay.
like 3 seconds.
So you just wonderful scan.
I say, oh my God, you're blue.
So you find out that the cut is mostly superficial, like the skull didn't get damaged. He has bruises all over his hands. His one arm, his left arm, is very bruised. And there are bruises on his knees, and he has several cuts on his stomach. Again, there's nothing, it's mostly superficial, but he has like most of his body has some sort of damage.
Is he in
Is-
like a EVA suit?
No, he's just standing normally in front of you.
And we have oxygen is running in this hallway?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently.
I just make sure.
Is he in pain?
I mean, you can tell if like he touches or something. Like when you were scanning it, you brushed it and it hurt. But at the same time, his mind is so,
Yeah.
It's hard to pinpoint exactly how much pain he's in.
All right. Well, I'll give him a pain reliever, like a hypo spray, basically,
Okay.
and I'll put like a bluey band-aid on it on his cut.
Okay. As you're reaching out to do the hypo spray, he takes your hand. He's like, "Oh, what's that? Is that a new hypo spray? I haven't been able to see that before. How does it work?"
Yeah, these are the new standard issue for Starfleet. I'll show you how it
Oh.
works, and then I just like lean in and I jab it right in his neck.
He goes, "Ha! Oh, that was really cool. It was much quicker than ours. We need to get the updated version. We're still stuck on the previous version because we haven't been able to get a retrofit yet. We were supposed to do it, but because of complications, and they didn't really want to send out a fresh ship, so they figured they would send this one out so that way we could look for colonies for the.
Can I look in the maintenance tunnel to see if there's anything in the maintenance tunnel where he was?
Yeah. You want to do. So as he's going, because nobody's stopping him apparently, so he's just continuing on and on about. So
Hi.
Ensign Mulek looks down and shines his flashlight into the tunnel, and he sees, there's some damage. You see like a couple of wires hanging, and you see a bunch of MRE wrappers on the floor. That's all you really see.
So he's been in there for like a minute.
Mhm.
I would ask him if there's a EV suit around that he'd be able to put on just in case, because there are certain parts of the ship that do not have any life support.
When you ask him that, he turns and his eyes get really big. He's like, "Oh yeah, we got a whole bunch over here in the docking port, but they're not as cool or updated as yours. Obviously, like like the hypo spray we were talking."
Okay, how about you go get one? That way, just in case life support goes out, you're safe.
Okay, I like that. So he sprints towards the docking port, and you don't see him for a while, and then 5 minutes later he comes back. He's got it, and he's got the visor up. He's like, "All right, what are we doing?"
Going forward, you may want to put the visor down if we go into an area that has no life support.
Oh, right. And you just
And I'm thinking because we were able to do a decent scan on the level above us, we're probably not near the dampening field, so we'll probably have to go up higher. You said we can go through the Jeffries tube to make it up to the bridge.
Yep. It's a long climb, but we can do it. You can go all the way to the top and then go across 2 sections, and you come out, and then it'll be all the commanding officers, the lieutenant commanders, the captain, and the commanders. They all have their room up there, along with the bridge. And the turbo lift is up there too.
No, so in this corridor where we're standing,
Mhm.
Andrew mentioned like there was like a medical bay or something, like a quarantine or something.
Yeah.
Because the medical bay is like right next to you. The lights are off. You can see the plexiglass, and you can see it has a Bolian symbol, and on one and on the left side it has the plus with the snake.
Oh yeah.
It has that on the left side. It has a Bolian symbol, which you can guess means the same thing.
My next question for him would be, in his little adventures, has he seen anybody else?
So
I know he talked about the book where he was the only person left. Has he seen anybody in the past couple days?
okay. So he turns to you and he says, "The last time I saw people was before the ship shook. I haven't seen anyone since the ship shook, and I woke up with all the damage."
And like you haven't been just like inside the maintenance tunnel for like just days, like laying in there. Like you have been getting in and out of the tunnel and walking around.
I've been staying mostly in the Jeffries Tunnel because that's my main job. So I know that the best. I feel most comfortable doing that. But I do pop out. Did pop out on each floor, and I didn't see anyone, and so I just went back in and continued.
Okay. I feel like we all need to go to the bridge, assess the ship better, and then from there make decisions because I feel like we could get into a predicament where there's a lot of miscommunication. Because, like Andrew said, we only could see the floor above us, and like there is a dampening field. So there's a chance if we separate, we may not be able to communicate with each other.
We won't be able to communicate or find each other.
Right, exactly.
It would be good if we let Clark know what's going on.
Yeah. I'll go like this. Blah, 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 blah. I'll say, Lieutenant Clark,
This is Shuttlecraft 1.
acting Captain Arhat, is going to update you with.
We found one Bolian crew member, and we're going to see if we can find any more. We're going to make our way to the bridge, see if we can use the internal sensors to scan for more life signs, and see if we can get rid of the dampening field.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll be here if you need anything repaired, I guess.
To Game Master, how long would it take for us to transverse from our current location to the bridge?
20 minutes in your suits. Right? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. I was just trying to get a timeline so that if we did need Clark, like that's how much time it would take for him to get there.
I was thinking if there was only the one signal and it was the kid, maybe the kid in house should stay on the shuttle and swap with Clark.
Okay. That wouldn't be a bad idea so that, he's hurt and the doctor can keep an eye on him and see about getting more information from him, considering he's very happy to give information.
That way, if he turns into a gelatinous spider creature, House can just take him out right there.
Yep.
Yeah. I literally just picture like House sitting in the shuttle and this kid is just talking to him and House is just sitting there just staring off into space.
Every now and then, just like, uh-huh,
Mhm. Mhm.
drink.
Yep, exactly.
All right. So Isaac's coming towards the group, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So as he's coming, the crewman spins around and he sticks out his hand and he goes, "Hi, my name is Matt."
Oh, Clark shakes his hand with his robot hand.
Oh,
and
that's
says,
so cool.
"Hi, Mott. I am Lieutenant Clark."
So nice to meet you. Can I, when this is over, can I look at your hand?
Yeah.
All right. And so he walks with House to the shuttle.
Were you in engineering?
Yeah, Chief Zalo, he calls me the Mole Master because he always sends me to the Jeffries tube when my shift is.
That's great. Well, it's always nice to meet a fellow engineer and someone as
Young as you, it's pretty cool.
Oh, thank you.
And let me tell
Don't
you,
let-
House is going to tell you all about moles from the planet Earth.
Ooh, I've heard about him. I've never seen him. Do you have pictures?
I hate you, Milek.
That's because you don't share your whiskey anymore.
All right, so House and Mott are going to head towards the shuttle.
Yes.
You guys begin your 20-minute adventure in the Jeffries tube in complete darkness, besides your flashlights. Nothing really happens. So, do you want to do anything besides this for 20 minutes?
Oh.
And then you crawl and you crawl. You get to the door.
I want you to know, Andrew, that Clark's robot thumb opens and there's a pen flashlight in it.
Ooh, very nice. Is
Just so
that
you
what
know.
Is that what you're
Yeah.
using?
So it's like on while I'm climbing.
Okay. You just see.
Not distracting at
It
all.
just, yeah, it just keeps like bouncing all over the place.
All right, so you get to the door for deck one. So door opens. You just see who's exiting onto the deck first.
I think I would be the first one out.
Okay. So you come out. The door's open to the right. It's in front of the turbo lift, which is right here on your right. Then you see 6 doors
Mm.
on the left. And there is Bolian writing on each door. And then at the end of the hallway on the right is a closed door with no writing. It's just like a plain bulkhead door.
I think Chu would be doing a quick scan for life signs just to see if we can get anything.
So it's going to be difficulty 3 if you want to.
I would love to do the roll, but how much dice do you want me to do?
I would buy at least one. That way
Yep.
you have 3 dice for difficulty 3.
Okay.
You have no focuses that help you.
Can we just say retroactively that when the Isaac and House exchange happened, that we informed the Drake of our current
Yeah.
situation?
Yes.
Okay.
Send a message to the ship to let Bowling Command know the ship is heavily damaged, and so far we've only found 1 crew member.
Okay.
And they will have to come to retrieve the ship if they want it.
Okay. So you're just keeping them updated.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So now what did Chu get for her rolls?
3 successes.
3 successes? All right. So she pulls out the scanner. It's super interference, like even stronger than it was on deck 4. But you do pick up, there are life signs. You can't get a clear enough picture to tell how many or what they are, but you can clearly tell there is life signs on this deck.
Can I use my bonus momentum from my tricorder scan to clear up the life signs?
I will allow it to be cleared up enough for you to know what type of life signs.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Okay. So again, you don't know how many, but clearly there is Bolian life signs on this deck.
Okay.
Because the senior crew quarters are up here, a bunch of these are probably senior crew quarters. We have 6 senior crew members, so it would make sense that these 6 doors are captain through lieutenant commander, their rooms. And the 7th is the bridge. Is there any difficulty to pulling out the tricorder and reading all the writing on the wall?
Because it's Bolian, as soon as you open the tricorder, it will be like, oh, Bolian language, here's the word.
So I open up my scanner and I'm just reading the first 6 doors right here.
All right. So starting all the way to the left, it says ferry, then Atlot, then Zalo, then Blocks, then Zeely, then Edron.
Does it say bridge down the hall at the 7th?
The 7th door has nothing. It is just a blank metal door.
So most likely that's the bridge door. The 4th door I find interesting because that's Dr. Block's room. But I think in general we should check and see if there's any crew members up here in the other 5. Should we knock on the doors and see if anybody answers?
So is Fury there? Is that on the numbers, Andrew?
That was the first, that's the door immediately to your left, right across from the turbo lift.
Let's knock on that door. That is the science officer, 2nd officer.
Okay. So you pound on the door, you hear nothing.
Are we able to easily open the door?
You would need, what is that called, where you stick it to the door and it gives it just enough power to force it open? They usually have one on each deck, don't they?
Typically, yeah.
Yeah. So you'd have to find one of those, like in an emergency box. You stick it and you're like, "Arr!" and then you can open the door.
Well, we're gonna need that to open the bridge door, so we may as well find that now.
Okay. Between the bulkhead door and the turbo lift, you see a little box. And you open up, and there's some emergency supplies and one of those door handle or door opener things. So, which door would you like to try it on?
I think let's try this one.
The ferry door?
The one we just pounded on.
Okay. So, you walk over, you stick it on there, you really, and it slowly opens. All right. And now, what do you do?
Can
I was
I
gonna say, shine the flashlight in and see if I see anybody.
Yep. So
Yeah.
you shine the flashlight in. You see the bed is flipped. It's not where like this. It's flipped up like that. You see books all over the floor and data pads, and the computer is off the table. The chair that's usually by the computer is on the floor. And you see a broken statue in the left corner. You see no people.
Can I do like a hand scanner thing for like temperature readings to see if there's like basically like anything's warm in there from like body heat or anything like
Oh, yeah.
that?
So if Chew's doing it, that's a 12.
What would be the difficulty of that, Andrew?
It's a difficulty 1.
So 10, I got 2 successes.
Good.
What did you roll for?
2.
Chew. Okay. So is there anything you want to use that? Because you're a max, right, for the momentum?
I am now with that.
Okay, so that didn't make you go over.
No.
Okay,
We were at 5. It bumped us up
Gotcha.
to 6.
so now you're back up 6. Okay, so you open this. She opens the scanner. The entire room is the same temperature.
Okay.
Do we want to do this at every single room, or do we want to go to Dr. Blocks's room?
Yeah, I would do what we did, like that order of operation, like knock, wait, if no response, open door, and then do like thermal scanning and just go all the way to the bulkhead door like that until either somebody answers or all the doors are open.
Are we leaving the door open?
If there's no indication that there's no heat in any of the rooms, we should just close them again.
So we'll just because you're at max, so we'll just skip ahead 10 minutes.
Okay.
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 So you do this for 10 minutes. You get all the way to the end, and it's all the same. Just the rooms are disheveled, but there's no heat signature. There's no sign of life. Nothing.
Okay.
Was there anything odd in the 4th room?
You talking about blocks?
Yep, that's Dr. Blocks's.
Nope.
Just
He had
ordinary
more
room.
he had more books than all the other rooms, but other than that, nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay.
Yeah, so nobody's been in here for like any time recently.
Since there's nobody here, the last is the bridge.
Which you
Yeah.
assume is the bridge, because
Yeah.
Can we scan to the bulkhead to make sure that once we open this thing, we're not going to get blown out into space?
yeah, it'd be a difficulty of 2, but you could try.
You want me to do that, Mike?
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Just to dot the I's and cross the T's, we did close the bulkhead door.
Okay.
Just in case we open it and have a vacuum, we're not vacuuming the entire ship.
Yes.
So I only had 1 success.
Okay. So the interference is too strong. You don't get anything.
Okay.
So what would you like to do?
I think we should put the things on the door and just try and open it a crack to see if there's a vacuum or not.
So you stick it on, you give it everything you got, it doesn't move at all.
Is there an emergency release for in case it's locked?
You do not see one.
Great.
So we could either go in the captain's or the tactical officer here and see if they have like access to their ship, because we might be able to like either Clark or our hand scanners may be able to like tap into a computer if they have one in their room and like access information. See if we can even open this thing, maybe.
Probably that last room that we were in is I think that was the captain's room.
Yeah, I think so.
That would
Is
probably be our best bet to see if we can access any information.
Okay.
Is there a way, Andrew, that I could like open a wall panel and use like life support a power cable to use power on this floor?
From what you heard from Mott, it sounds like there's just enough power to do life support. So if you take too much power, you're going to start losing what little systems you have left. But you might be able to do like a spark to try to do the door if you want.
Yeah.
Well, we could have Clark try to work on the door, and like we also can use like our hand scanners as like batteries for like a computer, and if there's a computer in one of the rooms.
Yeah. And like you said, I don't want to just like force open the door if it's not great on the other side.
Basically, Clark is going to see if there's some type of override for the door, and we're gonna see if we can connect to any type of computers.
Okay. So for Clark, you're going to do engineering control to try to basically jumpstart the door.
Okay.
It's going to be a difficulty of 2.
Okay.
Well, Caleb's figuring that out. We'll say you guys go into the captain's room, right?
Yeah.
You see some books, but it seems like there's a lot of like magazines. You do see a computer on the floor.
Okay.
So what would you like to do?
And try to like essentially plug in the hand scanner to see if it'll boot.
If you get enough power to get some type of life.
Basically, yeah.
All right. So go ahead. That's an engineering control as well. We'll do difficulty 2 then. If you'd like to jumpstart the computer with your hand scanner.
You got it. So if I purchase another momentum, I can use my cautious talent and re-roll a d20.
Okay.
I need a 15.
And if possible, see if you can pull any files off of it that might be pertinent. Basically, try and find the most recent stuff if it actually works.
Well, it was very good that I did that because I rolled a 20 and now I have 3 successes.
Nice. So do we want to bank the extra, or do we want to utilize the extra to get all the information we can from the computer?
Okay. I spend.
Okay. So you hook it up, it boots up. It comes up with an error message saying unable to locate computer core, local files only. Okay.
Fair enough.
As you're looking through, you see a bunch of you see all the reports that were sent to the captain, from the different
Like Bolian
departments.
Command. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, departments.
Just normally, like you're seeing, they found the different planets, which ones were looking good. You found a report talking about how the 3 members of the crew were sent down to the planet to see if it was a viable planet to use. It was Ensign Blex, Ensign Dret, and crewman Thalo, Thalo. They were down there for 2 hours, and unfortunately, Ensign Drek had an emergency because he had an allergic reaction to a plant down there. So they had to cut their trip short and come back. The doctor sent a report that they were cleared from quarantine at 9:45 a.m. that day. And then at 11:22, Ensign Drek was healed of his allergic reaction. There was a poison that the plant was secreting, and he was allergic to the poison. Then there's a message saying at 5:03 p.m., the captain is the one who activated the quarantine message. And then at 7 p.m. that day, Dr. Blocks removed the quarantine.
So here's my terrible conspiracy theory to Mike, the player, is that this person got infected from something. The doctor was in close proximity to this person. The captain was like, "Oh man, like this, like he saw something that was happening that made him quarantine the ship." And then the doctor was infected and basically like, he's taken over by plant juices and he's like, let's turn off that quarantine so more people on the ship can get infected. That's just my conspiracy theory, but it doesn't mean that's what's happening.
Has Clark had any progress on the door?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy 1 momentum.
Okay.
Andrew, can we make it canon that when Clark's doing this, he's doing like R2D2 like things into the panel?
Because he's taking the cord, he's putting it up to the door command. He's
His finger pops out into the door and
Right.
starts turning.
Yeah, my whole like wrist like spins around.
Right, exactly.
I rolled a 3, a 6, and an 18, so that's 2.
2 successes.
Yep.
All right, very nice. So as this is happening, you get enough juice to jumpstart the door to try to open it. So as it opens, it makes a terrible like noise, and it doesn't move. And on the other side of the door, you hear something hitting the ground and fumbling, and on the other side of the door that you attempted to open.
I see.
Like they had a barricade or something up on it.
Is it open at all?
No.
Or
It moved like a millimeter, and then it hit something and made that terrible, like metal to metal, grinding sound, and then stopped moving.
Without spending a momentum, do we have the ability to have brain knowledge that we can talk through this gap? Like yell? Can we yell through it?
You can attempt to yell through the door if you'd like, because from your ship, these bulkheads aren't soundproof.
So we bang on the door and yell, "Can anyone hear us?"
You go bum 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 bum. You hear on the other side of the door, "Go away!"
Perfect. Perfect.
So there's someone in there.
So Clark is standing next to the door, and so I hear him say, "Go away," and I just say, "Why?"
I'm not letting you in. I already told you.
You didn't tell us
Why?
anything. We were sent here by Bolian Command to find out what's going on.
You're not gonna trick me. I don't believe you.
Can you at least tell us who you are?
I'm Captain Edran, in charge of this ship.
We found one of your crewmen, Mott Zola.
You don't hear anything.
Do you have any sensors so you can scan us to find out who we are?
I'm not telling you anything. Go away.
Would it be better if Mott Zola came up and talked to you?
He's probably infected too. I'm not going to deal with you people.
Infected by what?
I don't know, and I'm done talking to you.
For being Bolian, you're not talking very much. Mott loved to talk.
You could try a persuasion check if you would like. All right. It's command presence.
Command presence.
Difficulty is 3.
I think I'm going to buy a dice. And I would tell him who I am, Commander Ashraf Farhat of the USS Drake's Starfleet.
Okay.
Please open the door or at least have communication with us because we need more information about what's going on. Your ship is heavily damaged. And I roll a 1,
Nice.
a 12, and a 16,
So how many successes?
which gives me 3 successes.
So you tell him who you are again. You say, please talk to us. He's like, all right, I'll talk to you, but I'm not opening the door.
Are you able to see anything that's going on outside this room?
No.
Why have you locked yourself in the bridge?
The crew started to act a little strange, so I sealed myself in with the bridge crew and the security.
So there's more.
How many
Yeah.
crew members are in with you?
13, including me.
So
you
they're
have-
all they're all super quiet in there just listening to the captain.
Do you have any idea where the rest of the crew is? Because there are 50 crew members and only 14 are now accounted for.
When things started getting weird, I had the security start moving people, but since most people were at dinner or breakfast, I moved everyone into the mess hall.
Is Dr. Blocks in with you?
No, last time I saw him, he was in engineering.
That's
Oh,
not
yeah.
good.
That's not good.
That's
Because
not
there's
good.
nothing left of engineering.
Well, that, but also why is the doctor in engineering?
He was telling me I was being paranoid. I was telling him he was wrong. So they were trying to move the ship to get help. I wouldn't believe them.
So now it's basically this guy's word against another group of people's word. Probably
Right.
who's in the mess hall.
The question is anyone in the mess hall?
True. We could try House using shuttle pod sensors to make a much more like closer scan of the mess hall.
Contact the shuttle pod to move right to the mess hall
Or
and
yeah, you
scan.
could do that too. Yeah, that's true. Yep,
Technically, well, the mess hall has windows, so I mean, if you're going over there, you could.
true.
Look in. Yeah.
Could do that too. Yeah.
It's just house. It's just house in the shuttle, like coming around into view, like to the mess hall windows, and just looking with like his headlights on to see if anybody's in there. And Mott is just like you can just see him like gesturing and talking to him like constantly while he's like flying the ship.
How good is House's piloting though? Because it's going to be a difficulty two, con control.
Oh, oh, my piloting is great.
Should we send Neelek down to the shuttle pod?
Can, yeah, if you want. Yeah, it's fine.
It's con in what though?
Control, because you're controlling the ship to go through
Yeah.
the
So
field.
it would be a 12
So that's
for
not
me.
horrible.
Yeah. Me like is a 16, so
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, honestly, I think we should send Neelek down to take the shuttle over and do the scan. House can get all the readings on everything, just if we get anything.
so I'm gonna play Stinky Andrew GM tactic.
Okay.
He was keeping track of time,
Yep.
Oh,
and it takes 20 minutes for me like to get back to the shuttle pod.
Hmm.
So do we care about that, or do we just push and hope that 20 minutes doesn't matter? Normally, I would just go do it, but when he was like, "That takes 10 minutes to open all these doors. This takes 20 minutes
yeah.
for you to get up here," I was like, "That's not good."
He's
He's
got a whole
tracking.
horde of zombies he's trying to see when
Right.
he's gonna release. Yeah.
I'm thinking because the bridge crew is quote unquote safe in the bridge area, it may not be a bad thing for us all to go down.
So right now, can we talk to House in the shuttle pod
No,
by communications?
you're
So
No,
too.
there's no.
The safety interference is way too strong.
Second question is if the shuttle pod moves to the exterior of the mess hall, does
Hmm.
that change the interference to the communicators in any way? Does it improve? Can you
It
talk
would
to
it would it would improve. It would still be messy. It's possible. You have to find the sweet spot.
Okay. I think, Mike, what we should do is like Milek and Chu, maybe, or Clark should go to the shuttle, and like two other people, like you and somebody else, stay here so that like we can have more of like, because otherwise we can't talk to these people, and we're gonna keep wasting 20 minutes
right,
to like come back and talk to them, and it's like that's what I'm worried about is you think about it like, oh, if there's people in the mess hall and they say something, only way to know to like verify this is to now waste 20 minutes to go back to these people and talk to them. So that's what I'm trying to like avoid.
right.
What more could the people in the bridge do for us though?
Basically, put up like, okay, I know we don't know if there's anybody in the mess hall, but if there is and we ask them questions, if we get to the point where we're now talking to them in the mess hall, we can take their information and put it up against the bridge's information.
Mm. Like
Like
in real
basic,
time.
yeah, like in real time, and like basically say, hey, so and so in the mess hall is saying this is why they did this thing. How do you feel about that? And then they're like, no, that's not what happened. You get more like, I just want to see if there's conflict, basically.
Two quick questions, first of all. If all 50 people are okay, can the Drake handle 50 people evacuation?
Hmm.
Would we be able to fit everybody like in cargo bays?
Oh, yeah, you could physically fit them there. The thing is, after a couple of days, life support wouldn't be able to handle that many breathing people.
I'm thinking
Oh,
I'll stay here with Clark, and Milek and Chu can head to the shuttle.
Okay.
I would just yell through the door, do you have handheld communicators or scanners or anything like that so you can gain other information as opposed to me just yelling through the door?
We have one, but we're not using it because the dampening field is too strong.
Do you have any idea what's causing the dampening field?
Of course I do. I was the one that ordered you to erect it.
What is the dampening field doing for you?
It's stopping people from teleporting onto the bridge.
Ah, I understand.
So we'll move and you guys will just stay?
Yeah, we'll stay. I would ask Clark to. Obviously, the dampening field is being powered by something. Is he able to figure out if he's able to access that power or not? I'm not saying to turn it off. I'm just saying, is he able to figure out how the dampening field is getting its power? I'm asking Clark to do some scans at some of the access panels, see if he can figure out where the power to the dampening field is coming from.
You know what? Just to make it easy, we'll say either insight or reason because they both tech kind of work. So whichever one you want.
I'll use insight.
Okay, go ahead.
So I made a 14 and I rolled a 12 and a 13.
Difficulty 2. Very nice. So you scan the panels. The only power in the panels is life support and gravity and heat. That's it.
So he's obviously getting the dampening field from somewhere else. Because to have that strong of a dampening field,
Right.
you have to have a decent amount of power.
Well, if he was really worried about the people in mess hall, why wouldn't he just shut the life support off down there?
Good point.
We also
Convincing-
don't know what caused the massive amount of damage to the ship.
Right.
Yeah. And convincing the captain that like if we shut off the dampener, like there's not enough power for people to transport in there, he's not gonna go for it.
No, he's not going to believe anything we say.
No, yeah. All right, let's burn those 20 minutes and go back, us two go back to the shuttle.
Okay. So you're on the shuttle. So it's Chu, Milik, the doctor, Mott, right?
Yes.
You guys walk in and I say, House says, "Oh, thank God."
And you see Mott standing on the bench in the back, and he's just doing this, and he turns. He's like,
He has his hands up like he's
yeah, he had both his hands up. He's like, I was just telling you about this creature I saw. It was this big.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. After I disconnect from this ship, can we inform the Drake now of our next?
Yep. So
Okay.
as soon as you get away from the ship, the interference is low enough that you can contact the ship if you want.
Okay. I just want to like give them like an update, that's all.
Yeah. So we're gonna say it's a difficulty 1 because
Okay.
there is a little interference still, and it's control engineering, and the ship is helping you with communication and engineering.
I'll have Milik do it because he's the highest engineer on the ship right now.
Okay. And who's rolling a 4 for the ship, for the shuttle?
I guess I will.
All right. Going for a 4.
I got a 4.
Nice. So that's a success.
So 3 successes, including Mike's.
There you go. So you get 2 momentum.
So we're up to 5.
There you go.
Okay.
So
Now
what do you
let's-
want to tell the ship?
Yeah, I just want to catch them up like on literally everything that like we're talking to people on the bridge, that we have a Bolian officer on the shuttle pod, that he's minimally injured, and that we're investigating the exterior view of the mess hall to like ascertain what the bridge is telling us is accurate, and then we'll report in with our findings.
Mhm.
So now let's navigate to the front of the.
All right. So did you roll for your difficulty 2 con control?
I can do that right now.
All right.
A whopping 3 successes.
All right. You can make the extra one if you would like.
I would.
All right. So you swing around. So you're now nose to nose. You can see the glass. Are you trying to do
Yeah.
a scan, or are you going to physically try to look in on the?
I want two things. I want House to look out with his own eyeballs, and I want Chew to scan. I want a shuttle scan, and I want House looking out the window. And I
Okay.
want to like absolutely blast these windows with shuttle lights.
Okay. So Chu is going to roll. It's the 14 difficulty of 2.
All right, I'll roll for Chew, and then he can roll for House. Difficulty 2.
Yep.
All right, let me spend a momentum to get 3 dice for that.
Okay.
14.
Yep. All right. So who's rolling for a 4 for the ship?
So I'll have Mike do it because House is going to roll.
Okay.
Yeah. Nope. Did not get a 4.
So it'd be science insight.
Okay.
And we'll say it's a difficulty 1 because you're pretty close to the ship. So
All right. So I just need a 15. So I'm not even going to buy momentum.
Yeah, I would get that glass right up against that glass.
14 and a 12.
did you get extra momentum or?
So that's 2. So yeah, 1 momentum back.
One
So
momentum
we're
back?
full again.
Okay, so is her number a 5?
Her number's a 4.
Okay, I have 3 successes.
Okay. So you have extra momentum. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Use the headlight as like Morse code to say like hello.
Okay.
We'll do Bolian SOS.
Okay.
It's the same.
So choose scans. A lot of interference, but she does get it's similar to the bridge. She gets like a mass of Bolian life signs. And House, he's looking in, and similar to Mott, he sees Bolians with like cuts and scrapes. Somebody's holding their arm, you know?
Are they?
Oh my God, I don't believe it. Zombies.
So as House is looking, suddenly Mott runs to the front of the ship and puts like his face against the window, and he starts yelling out, "Oh, there's Ezim and Chelly, and there's the chef. She makes the most wonderful tomato soup. You should totally try it. We should go to the mess hall right now
And
and get
Milek
some."
says, "Can you look at the ones that you see, and can you tell us if they look, other than looking hurt, do they look weird?"
No, I mean they're dirty and they're hurt, but I don't like. What do you mean? Like they're not pale or anything.
Okay.
Are they reacting?
Yeah.
to us? Yeah.
They're standing there just staring at you. Some of them are still sitting at seats and doing other things, but the ones close to the window just turn and are just staring at you like puzzled.
So House like puts his hand up and he like waves.
And then they just kind of like the 6 of them there in front of the window just kind of.
And let's ask Ma if they understand like hand signals.
A little bit, like I mean, obviously, like tactical stuff, like like he obviously doesn't know what they are, but he starts doing the.
So Milek holds up his communicator and he points at it, and then he points at them.
Okay. So they start shaking their head. No.
Is there anything in the shuttle that I can like write on?
You could probably have a data pad, and you could probably make something large enough that they could read. But it would have to be like real simple. I believe like anything larger than like a 4-letter word would be too small for them to read.
It'd be like
Need
one-word
help?
answers.
Question mark.
Right.
So is that what you're gonna write? Is like need erase help?
Yeah. I'm just trying to think like medically if House would ask anything more like to the point.
Oh,
but-
yeah, okay. Hmm.
So you do help, and they just kind of stare, and they scratch their head, and then they start doing this, like they're trying to open a door.
They want to get on the bridge. They want on the bridge really bad.
Hmm.
We want to open the door. Write the word bridge to them.
So you do bridge, you turn it around,
Bridge question mark.
yeah, and then they scratch their head, and they go like this.
I don't think they can read. I don't think they know Bolian.
Okay, what about if we write trapped question mark?
All right, so you do trapped, and they turn it around, and they go, and then they start doing the handles thing again.
So I wonder if they actually really don't care about the bridge.
It's very possible.
Okay, write hurt question mark.
Okay, so you write hurt and bullying, you turned it around, and then they shake their head no, and then just put their hands up.
I really want to know if Mott can say something to them, like an insider thing. But I don't really know what to ask. That's the thing.
How about a head count?
That's true. How many? Yeah, how many?
Yeah.
So they go like this.
30.
2, 1, 21.
On the
So-
screen, I saw 1, 2, which
Oh,
I thought
sorry.
was 12.
That was mirrored then.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
figured.
So
So,
21.
21.
so that's like.
I was like more than 3 in there.
No,
I thought you were going by
There's 6 in front of the class. They're like,
I thought you were going by tens, so 30.
So altogether, that's like 35 people that we've interacted with. So there's
Okay.
like
There's like
16
15
people. Yeah.
15 there's at
Well-
least 15 people unaccounted for.
It could have been 15 in the engineering.
Right. Let's do the last thing. Power on good question mark.
And then they just give you a thumbs up.
So now can we talk to our hat?
With your current position, it is a difficulty 3 to try to contact him.
Okay.
You can try moving the shuttle to see if you get a better signal.
And then an assist with like a 4 for like comms.
Yeah, the shuttle.
Can I spend this nice momentum to get it in a nicer spot?
No. You could spend it to buy dice, but you cannot.
Can we spend 2 momentum to
Can
get
I
the
spend
ship?
2 momentum to get the shuttle in a nicer spot?
Is this, I mean, you're talking about physically moving the shuttle to a different part of the ship?
I don't know, whatever you are suggesting.
Yeah, we want to
Yeah.
scan the ultimate place to pilot the shuttle, so there's
So if
no
you spend-
interference.
If you spend 2, I will will super speed the searching process for, like, what's that commercial where he's walking around with the phone looking
Oh,
for
yeah.
something?
Can you hear me
So-
now?
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that if you would like.
I would like that a lot.
All right. So spend 2 momentum.
Yes.
You
Our
it takes you,
you come in.
you take literally no time at all. You zip around, and you find that if you are like nose to the top of the ship, you can get a clear signal with our head.
Do you guys want me to roll to get that momentum back?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Who's
Somebody
rolling?
roll a 4 for the shuttle.
Yeah, I can roll for the shuttle. No.
1 success.
All right. So you got one momentum back.
House would tell our head that like medically from visual looking, like medically they look like just banged up and bruised, but they don't seem like weird.
Just for storyline though, are you going to update our head with everything that you saw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Ask the captain if he locked him in the mess hall. And then the second question is, if we turn the power back on, it will he hate that?
Okay. I yelled through the door. You said that you had put everybody into the mess hall. Did you lock the doors to the mess hall?
Yes.
Power is not great, but it is functioning. It would be difficult to change anything, but would it be bad if we did so?
Do what you want. I don't care. Just leave me alone.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So we
So
did
then,
persuasion
so-
war off, or
I'm debating on whether or not I should head down to the second floor so we can physically talk to the second group. If we come across crew members that are not locked in the mess hall, is there any way that you would be trusting to let them on the bridge?
No.
Is there another safe place where they could go that isn't the mess hall?
I don't know. Probably not.
this is like the worst captain I've ever seen.
Yep.
did we scan like the air to see if there's like gross plant stuff in the air?
Okay. Science insight difficulty 1.
I have a 9.
Okay, Clark has a 13.
All right.
You have a much better chance than I do.
15 and a delta.
Ooh, so you got 2 successes?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have
Yes.
max
No.
If
You
we
got
add
great.
1, we will.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do now.
All right. So you take out your tricorder, scan the air. There's, you know, dust, debris, like metal pieces that would be from the damage. A little bit of smoke, but that is it. Otherwise, it is just normal air.
Before I leave, there is one quick question I want to ask the captain.
Okay.
Does he know what caused the damage, the massive damage to the ship?
Ooh, you're gonna have to do a persuasion for that one. So that would be a difficulty 3.
Oh, he did it.
Command and keep forgetting persuasion? No.
Presence?
Presence. Thank you.
Yeah. Can Clark help by saying, if you don't answer this question, I'm going to turn off the gravity?
You could do a separate intimidation check, but that would be you'd have to do a persuasion check like
Well,
currently is.
I'll do it if I'll do it if it fails.
I'm going to buy 1 dice, so we're down to
Okay.
5. I'm going to roll. I got 3.
All right. So because you're technically attacking, you succeed with a tie. So the captain, you hear nothing for probably a good 30 seconds to a minute. And then finally he says, "Look, I had no other choice. I didn't want to make the sacrifice, but I had to."
Oh my God. I told you he did it.
So I basically have the answers I need from him. I need to go to the mess hall and see
So
if we can figure out.
you and Isaac are going down?
Yeah, I would follow Arya.
What is the shuttle doing? Because before, they're still right there if you want to tell them.
Is there a viewing port into the bridge?
Yeah. From the very, remember how they always have that circle in the middle of the bridge?
Oh yeah.
So there's that little tiny port, but you can see.
I want that. I want that. I want to do the exact same thing.
It's literally going to be just the captain and 14 dead bodies in there with him.
That's exactly what I want to see. I want to
Because
look
I'm
at
starting to
all-
think that the captain is the only one that's infected on the ship. Because he initiated the quarantine. The doctor said no, there's actually not a quarantine, and then the captain went like crazy and started locking people in places and blowing up the ship.
It is heavily stacked against him being insane.
So it's
Yeah.
going to be con control. 'cause you
Let's
got
do
that.
it.
All right. Go ahead. Difficulty 2.
Difficulty 2. Do you want me to have another dice?
Yeah,
Okay.
might as well.
Oh,
I think we're down to what, 4 now?
5. That's what I have. Right, Mike, or did you use one the other?
He just used one, I
I
thought.
just use 1, we're down to 5. You use 1, we're down to 4.
Oh, okay. Okay. I missed your
I was doing a difficulty 3, so I bought 1 dice.
Yeah, his persuasion to the captain, he used one.
Gotcha. I heard you say you had 5 or 3 successes, but I didn't catch that you had used a dice. That is 4 successes.
Okay.
I rolled his con number, and he has
Nice.
helm operations. He has evasive action. He has a whole
Yeah.
bunch of stuff. So yeah.
So do you have full now, or
Oh,
momentum now.
yeah.
Yes.
so you have extra to use?
Well, we're at max
Mm,
now because it was difficulty 2. I had a 4, so we have either we can bank those 2 or use those 2.
Okay.
If you'll just let it happen without spending momentum, beautiful, and I'll bank it. But if you're like, no, I want you to use it, I want to do a nice 360 spin on that dome and look at all angles that I can see.
So it will cost 1 to do that.
Okay, perfect.
You can't see the whole bridge, but from what you can see, you can clearly see at least 6 different people in different states of laying or sitting. You do not know if they are conscious, but you can clearly see that they're laying or sitting in chairs or something.
I got like floodlights on this thing. They're not reacting to the lights blasting the bridge.
One of them, one of the ones that's laying on the ground behind the captain's chair,
Yeah.
his head goes back and forth, no movement from anyone else.
they're not moving because they all have Gorn babies inside of them.
Oh, don't do this.
So
That's
are
why he's
you
counting down. That's why he's counting down to when they hatch.
Oh, when they burst out? Oh my gosh. You're right. I didn't even think of this. It's exactly how that ship was found, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's sick. Andrew is sick.
A
And
derelict
I,
ship
and,
full of
and I
Gorn
thought
babies.
zombies were bad.
so
Oh,
are you done with deck 1?
Yeah, we're getting
Okay.
out of here.
So we'll say it takes you 8 minutes to get to deck 2.
Yeah.
oh, it certainly does, doesn't it? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you come out of the hatch,
Here we go.
you turn to your right, you just debris parts hanging down from the ceiling. You turn left, and you see at the end of the hallway is the doors for the mess hall. The only issue is between you and the mess hall, the ceiling collapsed, so it's like it's like a hash across the uh, hallway. You're gonna have to figure
Like
out how to
right,
get around it.
but it's not right in front of the door, so that's not what's holding the door shut.
No, it's because you
So,
turn the corner and it's here.
so the hallway's blocked. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So there you see all of the doors on both sides that have names on them. So you realize like, oh, this is more quarters. And then at the very end, you see the mess hall doors. You have 3 choices. Okay. You can run and leap, which is a con daring,
Perfect.
difficulty 1. If you fail the roll, there will be complications. You can try to walk over the piece of chunk of ceiling, which would be con control difficulty 1. Or you can crawl under the chunk, which would be no difficulty, con control, but it would take you time.
I would walk over and just kind of tap it to see how sturdy the beam is.
Oh, it's solid.
I'm thinking about
Yeah.
trying to walk over it
Okay.
because it is more difficult, but at the same time, in my mind, it's safer as opposed to trying to crawl underneath a big hunk of metal that could fall on me.
All right. Go ahead.
Hey, Andrew, while they're rolling, will you allow me like to ask Ma if he recognizes any of the people on the bridge?
Oh, yeah. He sees Lieutenant Commander Ferry, Lieutenant Commander Otlot. He sees the captain. The captain's the one walking around. He sees Velo, and he sees Ensign Delit.
Do we have preliminary like just looking at them, see if they're injured without knowing like medical?
You do see blood.
Okay.
You don't know how serious it is, but there is blood on at least 3 or 4 of them.
So I rolled a 4, so I got 1 success.
All right.
I
What's
got
going on?
2 successes.
2 successes, so you get to bank 1.
Yep.
So you both very very carefully walk over this, and you're now on the other side of the debris. And now you're in a hallway with rooms on both sides with names on the doors and then at the end of the hall is the mess hall.
So
would-
is the door physically like blocked
You see
with something?
you see something on the door,
Okay.
but you from this distance you can't tell what it is. It's like a gray object on the door.
I would want to get semi close to it and do a scan on it.
Okay. So you get to the end of the hallway and you see it's a circle with two handles and a number pad. It is very clearly a standard
Oh,
Starfleet door lock.
yeah, it's like the thing they put on Daniel's room.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. So who knows what the code is?
You could try cracking the code if you want. It'd be difficulty 3, but
I would want to make sure that there's nothing weird about the lock. So I'd probably just scan the lock, just make sure it wasn't altered or tampered with in any way.
security insight.
Okay.
And don't you have an ability that lowers the difficulty if it's
If he's detecting like danger or whatever.
yeah, so wouldn't that count because he's trying to see if there's any danger with the lock?
Yep.
So we'll say it's a difficulty 1 because of your ability.
He's constantly watching.
Yes. Yeah, I'm wearing constantly watching.
That's right.
I have one success.
So that was all you need. So
Yep.
you thoroughly examine this lock. It is a standard Starfleet lock. There is literally no difference between the locks that are on the Drake.
So I would knock on the door and try and talk to somebody.
Yeah. So you knock on the door and it's muffled, but you hear, "Let us out!"
Does anyone have any idea what code the captain could possibly have used? Because there's a lock on the door.
No idea.
Well, because they're right there by the door, are we able to scan the crew member on the other side of the door?
Yes, we will say it's a medical insight difficulty 2. Because you're attempting to scan through a door.
Mine's a 10.
Mine's a 13.
So do you want to give it a try? See if you can scan him?
Yeah, we're full, right?
Full, yep.
Yep.
I'll buy one.
Good.
Here we go. 4, 11, 5. Yeah. So that's 3.
So we can put one back and covers the 2.
So you scan, you get the Bolian readings. It is like standard Bolian.
Do you want to give this lock a try and see if you're able to open it?
Yeah, what would it be, Andrew?
It'd be a difficulty 3.
So, Acting Gamemaster, could Clark jack into the device and either lower the difficulty or you allow him to re-roll a die?
Yeah, I'll let him re-roll a die.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll use my value. I can fix
Oh.
anything.
Okay. So just to be clear, are you attempting to like take it apart? Or are you attempting to
Yeah, I feel like I would instead of I know like going through and trying to get the combination would be a lot. So as a technical, I would more or less try to like deconstruct it into
Okay.
pieces.
The only
What?
thing is if you dismantle entirely and you open the door and they're gonna eat you, you may not have a way to lock the door again.
I just have the phase rifle.
I don't believe there's zombies. House
Okay.
does.
Okay, oh, fine, that's fine.
Because House has the value of I want to believe.
I want to believe. I want
It's
to
working
believe.
against him. It's working against him.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's one of those things where it's like he doesn't believe in people, but in this case, he's like, I really believe these are zombies. It's like he's gonna die on that hill.
So you have to get a engineer reason. You just have to get a 1 or
Okay.
1 more because you got 2 from the determination point
Okay, so I need a 13.
with 2 dice, unless you want to buy more.
Are we full?
No, we're down to 5.
Okay. I'll go for it. And if I fail, I'm just gonna shoot it.
No, I think we went up to 6 because he rolled a 3 and needed a 2.
Oh yeah, you're right. So
Oh.
I'll take one because I don't want to shoot it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
All right, 13. Wow, that's really weird. I need a 13. I got 13, 13, and a 14.
So one extra success.
Yeah,
So
one extra
two
success bumps us up to
successes.
6
So
again.
yep.
All right. So he puts his hand in, he starts to, and then the front part just falls, and then the bottom part, because he split it into two. So the front part falls off, and then the bottom part just straight down. The door is still shut because it has no power. All right. So you're gonna use the door thing to open?
Yeah.
Okay. You put it on the door, you force it open, and then you just see a crowd of Bolians. And they're like,
Ooh.
finally, we're getting so bored.
God, the whole ship is blowing up. It's bored. Oh my God.
And I would ask if is there anybody seriously hurt, basically would need help to move.
No, we're all fine. But did you come in a different ship or?
Yes, we came in a different ship.
Fantastic. We'll just, why don't we just pile into the other ship? Take off.
We can look into that. It's just this is a lot of people to pile into the ship. Can you explain to me how all of this happened? Because I understand that you were locked in here. Someone said something about an allergic reaction from a plant, and all of a sudden everything is locked down.
Yeah. So a guy in the back in towards the middle, he's like, that was me. He walks forward, he's like, I'm Ensign Blacks. I was the one with the allergic. Doctor healed me. Perfectly fine. Went back to my duties, and then I finished my shift, went to the mess hall to get dinner, and next thing I know, there's security officers with masks pushing us into this room.
Is the doctor here at all?
No. I haven't seen him since he healed me a couple days ago.
There's 21 of you here.
Correct?
Did you ask them like why the ship is like the way the ship is?
No, I don't think so.
Once the doors open, they probably see the giant beam down and probably ask, what happened? If they don't know.
We don't know. Like I said, we were pushed in here. Next thing we know, you're knocking on the door.
But they're injured. They're like
Yeah.
he said when we looked in there with the shuttle, he said they were like cut and hurt. So they just hurt from the ship like shaking and like rupturing, and they just got like scratches and bruises. Like, why are they like hurt, but they have no idea what's going on? Like, they have no idea what happened.
Are you asking me?
I can't because I'm not
Yeah,
there.
Clark is. I'm asking you, how did you guys get hurt and all damaged?
What do you mean? We're not hurt.
You're all bleeding and bruised.
No, we're not.
All right, look down at your hands.
They look at their hands and they go, it's just my hands. I don't know what you're talking about.
So whatever's happening, whatever they're infected with, is allowing them to not feel pain, and to think that they're better off than they are.
And they're real interested in just leaving this ship and moving on.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I don't know a lot, like as me, like I don't know a lot about Bolians, but are they usually like totally fine with things being like awful?
Not really.
They're very optimistic, but otherwise they're like all the other species.
But they know that like the ship is gonna the ship is bad, but they're
Yes,
like fine.
they're
They
very
feel fine
skilled
with.
engineers, so
So they shouldn't just be like super calm that like the engine is gone. I guess they don't really know that, but I guess they don't really know anything.
The person who raised his hand and said, I'm the one who had the issue. I would like to just do a scan of him to see how he is.
all right. That is a medical insight.
I got one success.
Okay. So you hold up the scanner, you start scanning him, and there you go.
Scanner begins to go crazy. All the readings.
This is something that only you know currently there, Tharhat.
Oh boy. Um. Yeah, I start stepping back and start
Oh
motioning
God.
Clark to step back.
Oh God.
So as you do, specifically Blex was the one that you were scanning.
Yes.
You see
He's
him
open.
see him to start breathing harder and harder, and then you see his veins getting darker. And then you begin to see the other crew also starting to breathe harder, and their veins getting darker.
Great.
Yeah, I told you.
I go to we take steps back toward the door in order to try and close the door as we leave.
So as you grab the door, you are able to shut it.
Yep.
You all of a sudden start hear massive pounding on the door, and you realize that they're trying to force the door open.
Uh-huh.
You see fingers begin to go through a crack in the door.
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do.
Sounds like we need like some sort of, man, if only there was like some kind of standard issue like locking mechanism. How badly did I disassemble that lock? Pretty
It's
good.
in two pieces. It's very you're not going to be able to put it
I
back
told
together in
you.
time.
I knew he wanted when he was like, "Yeah, just take it apart." I was like, "No, don't take it apart. Don't take it apart."
Well, as they're trying to open the door, am I able to use my phase rifle to weld the door shut?
That's a
No,
good. That's
because
a
it's
good call.
open. There's like this much gap in the door
Because
right now.
fingers are coming out.
Yeah, well then blast them off.
Well, fingers are coming out, but the door is still touching up top.
Oh,
There's a track that it runs on.
so it wouldn't permanently stop them, but yes, you can do the top to slow them down.
I would use my phase rifle to partially weld the door to the track to give us time to get out of there.
Yep. So go ahead. It's
While
it's a
he
normal phaser difficulty to control security.
Hey, House, do you want to like really check Mott out on the shuttle pod?
Three
he's
and
probably
six.
fine.
So you
I
fixate
like
it, you seal the door on the top, and then it's like it seems like it's good, and then all of a sudden you hear a terrible grinding sound, and you see little flecks from the seal that you did coming down.
So we need to run to the Jeffries tube to get out of here.
That would be fitness con difficulty 1 to run. Is Isaac running too, or are you hanging out at the door?
trusted you, Andrew. I trusted you.
You
Never
fool!
trust. You never trust.
I got one.
All
I
right.
got 2.
So you start running down. You hear as you're running, you hear the different debris on the floor going crunch crunch, and and then as once you get to the beam that's blocking the doorway, you hear more grinding and crunching getting louder from the door, and you see them. They can't get out because they're all trying to fit through the small space together, but they have enough space. If they stop doing that, they will start sliding out. But you're at the beam, so it's the same rules as before. Are you jumping over? Are you doing control con to walk over? Or are you crawling?
Me kind of running over it as opposed to jumping over it. I have better numbers running over it.
I feel also, Andrew,
Yes.
like we walked across it the first time, so we kind of know like where your feet and stuff should go.
Okay.
So I feel like we should be able to get over it again a little easier.
I'll tell you what, if you fail by a little bit, I'll give it to you.
Okay. You won't have a rebar go through my leg or anything. That's so nice of you.
Is there anybody on the bridge that can see like what we were doing to the mess hall?
The only possible one is if you could get the captain's attention, because he every once in a while he walks directly under the dome. but he's not
Oh.
looking up. He's walking around.
What if I blink lights?
If you get it just the right time, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Now you don't have to roll or anything. You can just so
He
I'll let
seems
them resolve
really-
what they're doing, but that's what I
Right.
that's what I want next.
okay. Go ahead. So con control difficulty 1.
I got a 1 and a 3.
And there you go.
failed by 1 point.
So I'll tell you what. If Michael gives you one of his momentum, we'll call it a success.
Well, we have 6 momentum, so
Yeah.
I have to use it regardless. I'm giving him a momentum, and we made it great.
So what we're gonna do is because you have to use it now.
Hmm.
You walk over. It's like you've been doing this for years. You're just like, oh, and then he begins to walk over. He starts to slip. You grab him, pull him the rest of the way, and then you both start booking it. And you make it to the hatch as you hear people running down the hall after you.
Perfect.
Not even talking, just full on screaming.
Okay. Before he calls,
Ah.
let's say when they were crossing the debris, and I get the captain's attention with that light. Is that what you were saying?
You're saying the captain on the bridge, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I want to write on a data pad. Do you want off of the ship? Like you off ship? Question mark.
Okay. So you show it. He looks up and he just shakes his head no.
Okay. Can we see, do they look different? I understand we don't know the blue vein thing, but like, do they look weird?
No.
Okay.
I mean, they're injured, but they
But
don't.
no, I meant like what's happening. I know
Yeah.
we don't know that that's happening.
I
I'm just
think,
saying, like,
yeah,
yeah.
that
Yes.
if I didn't see what our hat saw, but I take it that like that specifically is triggered by like when they're in close proximity.
It's either two things. It's either it caught on to the scan and now they're all freaking out because it's like, oh, you're on to me, so now we're gonna eat you. Or he's been keeping track of the time and it's been like an incubation thing.
I
Yeah.
think maybe it could be
Either
that.
one is plausible.
I think it's when the infection sensed non-infected. It's their main
Could
goal
be.
to
Yeah,
infect.
it could be that too.
So my plan was head to deck 5.
Mm.
There is a shuttle pod in the shuttle bay.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I'm going for the shuttle pod.
It's fine. So, but that's
Well,
what I'm saying. You're currently in the Jeffries tube with Isaac, right?
Yeah, we
Okay.
went to the Jeffries tube. I'm heading down to
we
deck
sealed
5.
it too.
Yeah,
Sealed the door.
I would try the same trick of welding the door shut to give us time to go through the Jeffries tube.
That's fine. Go ahead and roll the same thing. Security control difficulty 2.
Can I write on the pad? You get a pad and like talk easier. I want to communicate to him to like
Okay.
communicate better.
So you see him pull out a pad and he just does this. Like, what do you
And
want?
then I say, why no off ship? Question mark.
He writes back, forget about me.
Hmm.
Oh,
Mm.
wow.
And then I write other 12 dead? Question mark.
And he writes back, no.
Then I write forget other 12? Question mark.
He just says, leave us.
Hmm.
Where was his attitude when we were talking to him through the door?
He probably
I
feels
wouldn't.
more safe.
I wouldn't open. I wouldn't open the mess hall if I knew he didn't want us to help him.
All right. So you go down to deck 5. Right?
I go
You're heading into the,
Yeah, I
heading
go
into
down
the
to deck
shuttle?
5. When we come out, how close are we to the shuttle bay?
So it's a little bit of a walk, but you can see the doors.
We would head to the shuttle bay.
Okay. You walk through the doors. Then you have to pressurize and walk through the other doors because they just
Yep.
realize the doors are open.
Right.
So now you're out in space. You're in the shuttle
Nice.
bay, but it's vacuum of space.
Never
Yeah.
felt safer.
And then you turn to the shuttle and you see a large column sitting on the shuttle. It
Great.
didn't break the ship, but clearly the ship is not going anywhere.
But the thing is the ship has comms,
Yes.
and we're in a vacuum.
Yep.
So just getting into that shuttle pod
Yeah,
is
that is.
safer.
Yep. So
Whereas
as you
the
walk
plant
in,
zombies
you have to
can breathe.
lose a momentum because this is now a new scene.
I will take a chance to be who I'm meant to be. I won't let fear keep me from trying. It's time for me to make a change, to start living the life I want. I'm gonna reach for the sky, way up high. I'm never giving up. It's up to me to see who I can be, make dreams reality. I'm never giving up. 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 I'm never giving up.
This will be the last thing we do before the changeover is I'll write like you infected question mark.
And then he'll shake his head no.
It's gonna get messy, that's for sure. It's gonna get messy.